My name is Venton Jones, and I am a state representative in Dallas, Texas. I was born and raised in this neighborhood.
2023 was your first legislative session, right?
That's right.
The Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence will come to order. This time, Chair lays out House Bill 2055 by Representative Venton Jones and recognizes Mr. Jones.
This is a cleanup bill that would strike the unconstitutional language from Section 21.06 of the Penal Code put in place in 1973.
Let's see. 21.06, homosexual conduct. A person commits an offense if he engages in deviant sexual intercourse with another individual of the same sex. You still have instances where this law is being used to harass communities. It's laws like that that perpetuate that violence and the rhetoric that we heard towards the LGBTQ community.
A warning to anyone in the room due to the sexually explicit content that will be discussed here.
We may not win today, and we may not win tomorrow, but we will persist as we always have in the fight of your oppression. If you wish to eradicate transgenderism from the public life, as members of your party have said, you can cry that for a cold dead hands.
What do we want? Trans rights! Why do we want it? Now!
I know that it's been said countless amounts of times. What's at stake in this 88th legislative session?
Out of the closet, into the street! Out of the closet, into the street! Our street! Our street!
Oh, let me introduce myself. Venton Jones, House District 100 in Dallas, but also a proud representative of this community.
I'm a Black gay man.
What was it like growing up gay in Texas?
It was challenging, but thankfully, one thing that Texas teaches you is to be strong.
Being a part of the LGBTQ community is not a crime.
What were you thinking when you stepped up to that podium?
As also being someone who this legislation would impact personally. And that really fueled my ability to be able to lay out this bill in a way to where my colleagues heard me.
I don't believe that you or any members on this panel should be arrested for being with the person that you love.
One of the voices of opposition was a group called Texas Values. Mm-hmm. Texas Values says it is a faith and family-based organization.
Chair lays out House Bill 1848.
Texas Values in opposition to HB 1848.
Texas Values Action, here to testify against House Bill 978.
Texas Values Action, here to oppose HB 1038.
Texas Values declined an interview request, saying it was focused on more pressing issues. But our own legislative analysis found in the past decade, this group has been very focused on this measure, registering or testifying at least 17 times against different bills aimed at repealing the state's ban on homosexual conduct, far surpassing anyone else. Its argument, the legislation was always too broad.
Our main concern that we bring every year with this type of legislation is how it affects the Health and Safety Code, which has very important provisions on how we teach kids about sex.
Most legislative efforts, including Representative Jones's bill, have not only tried to repeal the state's ban on homosexual conduct, but also language referencing that law from a section of the Texas Health and Safety Code regarding teaching students about sex in school. That section states homosexuality is not a lifestyle acceptable to the general public and is a criminal offense.
The most important part is making sure that our kids have all the information that they need possible in order to make healthy decisions.
But like with Jones's bill, even when compromise kept the health code portion intact, Texas Values would not support repealing the ban on homosexual conduct.
There's different faith perspectives on all of these issues, but my question is very, very pointed and simple. Does Texas Values believe that an individual who engages in homosexual conduct is a criminal and should be a criminal under Texas law.
We do have to say that as an organization, we do not stand for that behavior.
And my greatest fear at this moment is that there may be another little girl or boy watching your testimony and think that there is something wrong with them for a trait that we can't change. I am a lesbian. Not because I choose to be, but because the God I believe in made me this way.
The law isn't meant to disparage or discourage anyone.
What's the factual reason that this book should tell me that my marriage to my wife is criminal?
We have gotten really good in this state about criminalizing behaviors that we may just disagree with. And I don't think that's the right course for this state. And so I just want us to think deeply as legislators before we ultimately vote on this.
For some legislators, that thought process might include the influence Texas values can have on politics. Since its beginning in 2012, the group has received millions of dollars in contributions, but due to state and federal disclosure laws for nonprofits and campaigns, it's tough to tell exactly how that money was spent or who gave it. We do know Texas Values and its lobbying arm have endorsed conservative lawmakers, buying ads and publishing faith and family scorecards, a major campaign tool in elections.
I proudly have those awards that I've received from Texas Value on my shelf here in my office in the Capitol, and you do great work.
When you look at the makeup of the committee that you were standing before, there were some pretty conservative members.
I think that's why it's critical to be able to have an open door so that you can have those conversations.
There should be no reason that I shouldn't be treated just as equally as each and every one of you. And with that, I close. Thank you so much.
There being 9 ayes and 0 nays, the motion prevails.
And at the end of that process, not only did we have the unanimous support of the committee, we had over 76 lawmakers that had signed on to support this bill as it made its way to the House floor.
What ultimately happened? Why didn't it move further than that?
Well, unfortunately, by the time that this bill was placed on the House floor calendar, we had reached the deadline to hear House bills. So not only did this bill die at that time, but many other bills also did as well. Sometimes it has to go another session, and sometimes even another session. What I hope is that it continues to show how the needle is moving towards understanding.
Do you think that this law will ever come off the books in Texas?
You know, I'm not one to ever say never, and I think that it's important that our laws reflect our values of diversity, values of inclusion, values of all humans being created equal.